Hey everyone, just got done watching the Sony press conference. Of course, here are my random thoughts. I go over everything, but mostly focus on the stuff that I'm most excited for, most interested in. I will say first and foremost, Sony didn't knock it out of the park like they have in years past. There was nothing shown during this that was a surprise, really, that impressed me to the point of whatever, or brought me to nerdgasm tier level, like back in December when Sony had they had their Sony event, and they showcased the trailer for Last of Us 2, and I was like, that was like tears, like very rare. Like I'd say, like that's maybe the first time ever that I've been was moved almost with tears, geek wise, for something. And unfortunately, no Last of Us 2 here at all during this press conference. Not necessarily a bad thing, because we know Last of Us 2 is still off, and Naughty Dog really wants us to focus on Uncharted Lost Legacy, which is coming out in August. So anyway, let's start going over this. We got Uncharted Lost Legacy first. It looks cool. I'm happy for, that it's coming out. It's not only a couple months away. I was already excited about it, though. I already have a pre-order in on it or something, I think. I have a pre-order on it. Either way, I will. And it looks good, but, cool. I'm already hyped for that. New DLC for Horizon Zero Dawn, which I enjoyed a lot of this year. One of my favorite games, I guess, this year, because it hasn't been a ton of unbelievable titles this year. But I'm excited to see more from that. So that was kind of cool. Probably the game, there's two games that I'm most excited for from this, that are new games. And that is, not new that were just debut, but as in, they're not a remake, because we'll get to that in a second. But anyway, Days Gone. Days Gone looks awesome. I'm very much hyped for this game. Yes, zombies are overplayed and all that, but I think they're doing a good job with this game, the way just it looks, some of the traps, zombie bear, there's a lot going on here, where it's gonna mix the zombie with just the whole brutal stuff. Very much excited and want to get my hands on Days Gone. That is for sure. There was also a big trailer for Monster Hunter World. I know a lot of people are going to be hyped for this. I'm not a Monster Hunter fan at all. These games don't do anything for me. Just never could get into them. Not a big fan at all. So, look kind of cool, but definitely not interested. I literally have a bunch of gibberish in my text document when I geeked out a little bit for the Shadow of Colossus remake. It's not just a remaster. This is a remake of it. Shadow of Colossus is one of my favorite games ever. So I'm very much excited to see this coming out. Of course, I'd rather have a sequel, but that's not really a chance probably of ever happening, especially after how many years it took Last Guardian to finally get out, and I was so disappointed by Last Guardian, but I'm very much looking forward now to playing Shadow of Colossus again. Yes, I own it on PS2. Yes, I own it on the PS3 with the Ico collection, and yes, now I will own it on PS4. It's one of those games, because I love it so much, I don't really mind the fact it's being redone or whatever. It's one of those things where you don't have to get it. I hope it's not a full price remake. That's my only hope. I hope, it looks good and all that. I'm not saying they don't put effort in or deserve, but hopefully it's not, so that it will be at least somewhat enticing to get some people that don't already love Shadow of Colossus to check it out. But I don't know how they're going to approach that. Obviously, it's still very much early. But yeah, no, that was one of the cooler moments. They also showed a bunch of the storyline type of mode for the Marvel vs. Capcom, the new one coming out. Story mode looks kind of cool. I like a fighting game that has a story mode, interested to see how this ends up playing out. There's a demo. It's supposed to go up today. I don't know if it's up right at the second when I'm doing this or not, but they are doing a story mode demo for people to check out. We also saw Call of Duty World War II, which, a lot of people are going to be on. I'm actually kind of excited for it, just because it's back to World War II. So I'm probably going to be getting the new Call of Duty. I bought the last one, but I never even played it. I just got it for the Modern Warfare remaster, so I never even got around to playing Infinite War at all. I just never even got around to it. They then did a bunch of VR showcase. They showcased a whole bunch of VR stuff, which of course I'm not very interested in until VR is affordable. To me, it's not worth it. Plus, still, I'm waiting for VR games that are full games, not redone versions or anything like that. I'm not, like, the only thing so far with VR that's come out that I think is, that I really would love the chance to do is Resident Evil 7. That's the only game that's really, truly done anything for me as far as the VR stuff is concerned. But it's still not worth getting just for that, and I still loved Resident Evil 7 regardless. But we saw Skyrim VR, there was a game called Star Child, there was a game called Impatient, which is something I'm very much interested in. I love insane asylum settings and horror games, of course, so that does interest me. If there is a non-VR version of that game, I will definitely be checking it out. And that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping it's, VR, there's a VR version, but, like, you can also do it without VR, or else I'll probably never end up getting around to it. Also, we then saw Monster of the Deep, Final Fantasy 15 VR. I love Final Fantasy 15. It was my favorite game of last year, but I hated the fishing. I don't mind fishing somewhat, and it depends on the game. Like, there are some games with great fishing mini games, but I just didn't like it. Especially, it was a grind because I was trying to get the level 10 and maxing out fishing, which is just such an annoying grind. And hearing the same dialogue over and over again for a long period of time, just really ended up dragging for me. So I'm not interested at all with more fishing in Final Fantasy 15. I just think that's completely odd. That is even whatever happening, but there you go. We also saw something called Bravo Team, and there was another game that looked kind of cool that was being promoted with VR with like a mouse and stuff. It looked like a cool little game. I forget what it's called. I forgot to write it down. That's the one of the only notes I didn't take, but that still kind of cool. Also, we got a lot of stuff on God of War. We got to see a whole bunch more of it. Kratos is full dad mode in this. I am going to be playing it, of course. I'm not like this super ridiculous God of War fan like some of my friends are. Like, I'm just not. Like, I like God of War. I played all but Ascension. I'm just not super into it like some people are. But it still looks good. I'm sure it will be a good game. So I will definitely be playing it. I'm just not like super hyped about it or anything like that. We also then got a bunch more on Detroit, which is coming along nicely. It's a little, like, I thought Detroit was just going to be, like, I still don't know a whole lot about as far as the core gameplay goes of what we're going to be able to do. I think it's still going to very much be story-driven experience and not a whole lot of gameplay, but they really wanted to make it seem like there was much more gameplay going on in this. I don't know, maybe I'm just looking at it differently than I should be, but it just seemed like they were trying to make it seem like there was more game here than what it is. It's like, it's as far as I remember, it's by the same people that did Beyond Two Souls and Heavy Rain, so it's going to be that kind of game, which I like. Don't get me wrong, I like this setting. I like this whole, like, Android thing with the revolution and getting the consequences that are involved in it and stuff like that. Like, it looks like a kind of game I'm going to enjoy, but it's not the kind of game that a lot of people, not everyone likes those kind of games, so I don't know. I think they kind of made it seem like it was more to it, but I hope there is. For other people, like, I'm going to hope there is. But yeah, so that's Detroit looks kind of cool. We then saw a bunch on Destiny 2. I'm not a Destiny guy. Don't play that. Don't have any interest in it. So I kind of tuned out, honestly, during that. And I was really hoping they were going to wow me because I knew we were getting to the end. They were going to come out and wow me with something big at the end, which they did do something awesome. I was just hoping for something different. This is the other game other than Days Gone. Spider-Man. Like, last year when Spider-Man was first shown, that was like geek out nerdgasm moment for me because I've been waiting for, and now that we haven't had decent Spider-Man games, Spider-Man 2 on PS2, that era, that game was great for its time. Like, a really good game. One of the best probably could arguably be, as of now, the best Spider-Man game. And there's been a few other decent Spider-Man games, like the lesser known ones, that have come out during the PS3 era. The ones based on movies outside of Spider-Man 2 and the original Spider-Man one based on the first movie was okay. But Spider-Man 2 was great, and they start falling downhill on the ones based on films. But the other side Spider-Man games have been okay, serviceable. But I'm really been hoping for a Batman Arkham Spider-Man style experience, and that's exactly what we're getting here with Spider-Man. They showed a bunch of what we assume is gameplay. Yes, it's still going to be kind of that scripted gameplay because they're, whatever, but we got to see in action of what we're potentially going to be doing in it. Obviously, it's going to be a sandbox type of open world type of thing where you're really getting to explore New York City, and there's just so many little things there, just a lot of stuff going on. It looks a lot of fun. It does remind me a lot of course, Batman. When he was, hiding out on, the things and then being able to stealth kill people, or not stealth kill, but stealth take out people by doing all kinds of different web techniques and stuff. Really awesome looking stuff. Looks like it's going to be one of the funnest games coming out next year. This is near the top of my list. Not my most anticipated game, but it's up there. Probably top 10 most anticipated games of the relatively near future. It's coming out next year. It said 2018. And also anything that with these, I don't know which ones. Some of these games I know aren't exclusives. I know obviously Horizon is, Uncharted is, Days Gone is. Horizon's already on the DLC. Uncharted is, Days Gone. Spider-Man, they said, they made it clear it was. I think Detroit is, and God of War, I assume, would be. So that they had some good, solid exclusives. In fact, I think they have more exclusives than Microsoft did. I know Microsoft said they had 22 or whatever, but I'm talking about, with that whole shady, console launch exclusive thing, which I still don't have clarification on which games are extremely, actual exclusive Xbox and which ones are just temporarily exclusive Xbox. God, saying that's just a pain in the ass. So they did show a good amount of exclusives and games that I'm very much excited for. But that was it. That was the end. And I was just kind of sitting there and I'm like, no big thing at the end, no fun, a couple years, 2 years ago now, I guess. Was it 2 years? Yeah, it had to be 2 years ago. The Final Fantasy VII remake trailer teaser, whatever thing, and then we've gotten these other ones throughout. I love it when they finish with a surprise, and that always disappointing when they don't. I guess maybe they can't sometimes. Especially considering if Last of Us 2 had been shown here, it would have had the same impact to me as it did back in December, had that been the first time we got to see it. But still, a cool conference, lots of stuff I'm excited to play. There's no way I'm going to say who won. I will say the biggest surprise for me was Ubisoft so far. We'll still see what Nintendo does tomorrow, but because Nintendo's not doing really a press conference and they're doing things a little bit different, that's not quite the same, though I hope Nintendo shows some cool stuff. I will be definitely covering what they do end up showing. But as far as everything goes with Sony, I liked it. It was okay. It was a good, slightly better than if I had to rate it 1 to 10, probably around a 6, I would say, for Sony's press conference. As far as, but there is a lot of good stuff, a lot of stuff great coming on the way in 2000, I don't know why my voice is 2017 and into 2018, and there's a lot of great stuff coming. I just was hoping for a bit more. I don't know, maybe just you hope for a bit more. But definitely today was better than yesterday. I think so. With Ubisoft alone, trumped Bethesda's conference, and so I don't know. I think today was better. Maybe I'm just in a different mood. Maybe I'm in a better mood. Maybe I'm just sleep deprived because I've been up for. I got a small little nap today, but that's about it. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching this and all my E3 little videos that I've been doing. Hope you've been enjoying it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to. I do appreciate it. Anyway, see you in the next video. Maybe I won't be here. I'll just leave.